We weren't allowed to sleep with our doors shut. I woke up earlier than everyone else most days, and on this day, decided to rub one out before everyone woke up. Grabbed the lotion. Put it under my second pillow all smooth like so no one would see it if they walked by. About halfway through the deed my aunt raised me, rips her door open, which is positioned about 15 feet directly across the hall from my room and perfect view to my bed. I was so and I'm scared that I literally sat straight up. One hand under the covers. She saw me and goes, "Hey I question mark? And starts walking over. I sat there frozen. Like I saw a bus speeding directly at me, but I couldn't move. Junk still in hand. She comes in my room and goes, "What's going on, sweetie? Are you okay?" I just awkwardly say, "Yeah. You just scared me." She laughs and sits on the bed next to me, directly on the pillow, and hears a crunch. Looks at me. Stands up and picks up the pillow. Looks back at me, immortified, and starts walking out. She didn't even turn back to look at me. Just grabs the door to shut it and says, "I think you're old enough to sleep with this clothes now. I didn't leave my room all day." TLDR, aunt caught me wonkin', sat on my lotion bottle, became a big boy. Close bracket. Edit. Thank you for the award. First post that's gotten this much love. Fantastic that it had to be this post. Lol. And for those asking, no, she is not hot. Me. Pooping in my pants in first grade because I thought pooping in toilets other than my own is illegal. I'm a Canadian, and we had this show in the 2000s called Radio Free Roscoe. I was obsessed with this show. I watched it religiously on the Family Channel. My aunt had a friend who was a makeup artist for the show, and so she managed to get us on set to meet the cast and visit all the different places. My 11-year-old self was ecstatic. It was the most incredible thing to happen to me. My brother and my cousin went with us. We get to the set and it's amazing and everything I had hoped it would be. We got to see them film a scene and see all the behind the scenes stuff. It was incredible. We went to do the meet and greet with the cast, and I was so nervous but excited. I'm an awkward girl and super oblivious, especially when I'm nervous. Kate Todd, the female co-star, was being super sweet with me because I was the only girl in our group. She called me over to sit with her for the photos and used her hand to pat the seat beside her. Being oblivious, I missed the seat pat and went and sat directly on her lap. I'm 27 years old now, and I still remember her saying okay in a super surprised voice. I was mortified that I just sat on her damn lap like a baby instead of beside her like she intended. I honestly couldn't look anyone in the eyes again after that. I still cringe to this day thinking about sitting on her damn lap. She was super sweet about it, but I knew I had fucked up. The very first night my now wife spent at my place had only been dating a week. But I was super into her. We got shitty drunk before bed. The next morning I forgot she was there, still technically drunk, and ripped a once in a lifetime epic fart that was both echoing through the hallways and melting paint off the walls. I remembered she was there when she audibly laughed and said, "Oh my god." I pretended to still be asleep instead of addressing it. To this day I'm amazed she stuck around after that. But we are now happily married. Anyone that can survive that and still stick around is definitely a keeper, even if she still loves telling people that story years later. Posted this in another thread, but this should work here too. One time I was working with a buddy, we were 19 to 20, who wasn't exactly smooth with girls. He saw our boss's daughter walk by, who he liked, and wanted to impress her. He turns to me and tells me how he has a really good Groot impression. I sit there wondering what brought that on. And then see her walk by, and it clicks that he thinks his Groot impression will impress her. He then asks me rather loudly if I wanted to hear his impression. I look at him and say, please don't it. Almost as if he didn't even hear me. He shouts at the top of his lungs, I am Groot. I stood there doing a mild facepalm while she stops what she's doing and looks at him with mild confusion. She then walks away immediately. I don't know how he did not get embarrassed by that. BTW. His impression was a 4/10. Entertaining for an 8-year-old. Not so much for a 19 to 20-year-old girl. My first grade sleepover birthday party. Someone gave me a present shaped like a Barbie, the Barbie rectangle. I told everyone very smugly and rather rudely, bratty, how I knew it was a Barbie, even though it's my first Barbie gift ever. Skipper was all I saw as I opened it. Not Barbie like I was expecting. Some knockoff. I got upset. Obviously hated the object of my embarrassment and ripped off her head, and no one really understood why. Turns out, Skipper was just the name of that Barbie model, and I never received another Barbie as a gift ever. Even though I really wanted them. I only ever remembered the embarrassment of my bratty behavior. Then poor behavior over that embarrassment until this question was asked on Reddit before. So it was only recently in my 30s that I even realized. TL. Doctor, I was gifted a literal fucking Barbie and freaked out for absolutely no reason. Never getting a Barbie again because of my 6 years old ego. Ugh. When I was 13 over 14 I had this crush on a guy who was an asshole. But I guess I just thought he was hot. We were chatting on Snapchat and he told me he thought he liked this other girl. And I started to panic. I sent him a photo of me crying. Because I was a socially incapable person and I thought that was the best move. He screenshotted it and sent it to 2 girls I hated because I knew they thought I was weird. But now I see that was fair and they all had a laugh over me crying. But this one was definitely on me. I was a weird kid. Okay. This is one of my worst, most cringiest moments. Mainly because it's all my fault. My main excuse is that I was young. My family attended this massive religious conference every year. It sounds weird. But yeah, it was weird. But for the kids it was like a massive summer camp. One day I go with my sisters to the main meeting tent. We are there early, so there's almost no one there except this one guy that I'd seen around a lot. He was pretty popular, usually surrounded by people and, relevant to the tale, in a wheelchair. I thought it was weird he was alone and I didn't want him to be lonely. So I just walked over to him and said hello. He looked at me and went hello. I froze up and didn't know what to say next. So of course I just went, why are you in a wheelchair? High school play. I start improvising. I don't even know why I did it. I just got so into the moment I forgot there was a script. God, I cannot even describe it in complete sentences. I hate me in that moment. Edit. It was gospel, kind of like the Bible but confusing. Non-linear and musical, and I was one of the stuck-up priests. When Jesus started talking about God stuff I was technically supposed to be quiet. But I was all like, this man commits blasphemy. And I pointed to the crowd, I think. Like, y'all heard it. You all heard it. Then when he started talking more I was like, look at me, I am Jesus. I have 12 best friends and I don't wear shoes. Apparently that was the bad part. At the end of a great job interview. Shook the guy's wrist instead of his hand and held on like I meant to do it. Didn't get the job.